Pulled to Donaldson. He makes a nice grab of a tough hop. Oh, what a play by Donaldson. Now throw him out, and he does.
Josh Donaldson, welcome to Baseball Stories.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Now, we call this show Baseball Stories, and one reason we wanted you here is there aren't many better than yours. A guy comes up as a catcher, goes to winter ball to learn how to play third base, doesn't really get a chance to play in the big leagues till age 27, and then becomes one of the best players in the game. And here you are in Toronto, right? And your manager, the always eloquent Jonny Gomes,
Sure.
This spring called you the centerpiece of this team. What does that term mean to you, centerpiece?
I think it's just that. It's the center of the team. And I think since I've been here in 2015, I've really just tried to invoke my idea of what it takes to win. We've been pretty successful at that since I've been here, except for last year. And I missed 50 games last year. So I definitely think that I do play a piece in how successful that we are, a large piece of that. I don't shy away from it. That's what I want. At the end of the day, it's not just me. It's these guys, and they're buying into the same idea, same concept of going out there and competing each and every day, putting the past in the past, moving on, and going about our business the right way.
Yeah, I know that there are a lot of leaders on your team, but when you're around this group, it really does feel like, to me at least, that it's your team and everybody feeds off you. And so given that, the fact that you couldn't come to a contract extension, and this is your free agent year, is that something that you would see as frustrating or something that you use as fuel?
Really, I'm just excited about this season. I would, if I could give you my care factor on my long-term deal with the Blue Jays, it's about 0. If I have one right now. Mm-hmm. And
how can it be 0?
Because that's not important to me. What's important to me is now.
Now, 2018, Toronto
2018,
Blue Jays.
that's it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
the rest of the stuff takes care of itself at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk a lot about the Blue Jays. Just one follow-up. After what happened in free agency to so many players over this past winter, is free agency a scarier prospect to you than it would have been?
No, not at all.
Why not?
Why would it be? J.D. Martinez is a DH and he's going to play a little bit of outfield. Is getting $21 million a year. Big Papi, the greatest DH of all time, at 13.5. 13.
So you're saying it's all going to turn out fine. Nothing to worry about.
If the greatest DH of all time got 13 million, what are you telling me?
Right.
Can you see that?
Right. You're basically saying you have enough belief in yourself that there's nothing to worry about.
Have you looked at the class?
There's a few players in this class.
A couple.
Yeah.
I think we'll be able to handle our own.
Okay, well, it feels like you're one of those guys that plays with a definite edge. Mm-hmm. Where does that edge come from? How would you describe that edge? Do you have to play with that edge?
I'm always searching for it.
Aren't you?
Yeah, and I just think, honestly, like what us humans try to do to one another, and is to try to take people's confidence away. We don't want you to believe in yourself, because then you stop working, then you stop having, the desire to want to go out and do things each and every day. And from a very young age, I had people tell me that I'm not good enough. My attitude is poor. He is not playing fair as far as competing and stuff like that. Yeah, because I played hard, and maybe I would injure their kids if we were playing football. Or
did you injure their kids?
Yeah, there were several kids that I injured, not intentionally, but it's part of the game. But it's one of those deals where I think the easiest way to affect someone is by taking their confidence. I've been very blessed, and I thank God that He gave me the ability to be confident in myself. And I'm thankful for my mom, who has, every time somebody told me no, that I couldn't do something, she was behind me saying, yes, you can do it, but you're going to have to outwork everybody for it.
And it feels like you have. Now, so have you always had that? Is it true that you told your 5th grade teacher, save my signature because it's going to be worth something
100%
someday?
I did. Well, she was actually my 4th and 5th grade teacher. Yeah, so then whenever at the end of the year, I gave her a piece of paper because I knew that this was the last time. And I said, you might want to save this one day. She actually came to a game last year. That was pretty fun.
Your 5th grade teacher did?
Yeah.
Did she save your signature?
No, I got her a new one.
You know, the other thing that I think about when I watch you play is energy. You play with incredible energy every night, every inning, every at-bat. What's the source of that energy, and how important is it to play with that kind of energy?
It's difficult to do it each and every day. It's easy to do it for a week, and it's easy to do it when your team's having success. The difficult times are when your team's scuffling a little bit and, you know, everybody's looking and waiting for someone else to do something to kind of pick the team up. And I think that kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier about why people think that I'm the centerpiece, is because each and every day I try to come in and I bring energy, and people see my will to want to go out there and compete on an everyday basis. And that is difficult to do that. 162 games, and I think it's 185 now, but it's always been 181.
Days.
It's tough, but that's why you hear the word grind and stuff all the time. Kids who have never played professional baseball, they really don't understand what grind is until you're in the big leagues, you're in the minor leagues, and that's a grind, and you have to relish that. You have to love it. You have to enjoy it.
Right, because it's not just how you feel physically, it's a state of mind, right?
It is. And this is here. We're here today and gone tomorrow, you know? So anytime that's why I'm saying, like, I'm focused on this year. Because anything else past this, we're not promised that. Like, I'm focused on this and how I can be the best today.
I had a general manager tell me one time that he thinks that a team's energy level is directly proportionate to the energy level of the best player on that team. And it really does feel like your energy rubs off on your teammates. And is that by design? Do you want that energy to rub off on your teammates?
No, 100%. Yeah. and that's what we're here for one another. We're here so we can pick our energy levels up off somebody. So I can feed off this guy so he can feed off me. So we're all feeding. And then when everything's clicking, we're all feeding off each other. And that's when you start getting the ball rolling in that direction, to where, you know, you look at the Cleveland Indians last year, winning 22, 23 games in a row.
Crazy.
You know, and you have a guy like Francisco Lindor who's going out there each and every day and being excited. And, you know, that's what I would agree with that guy's, whoever said that, whoever your source is. I remember Jeter coming up to me when I was in Oakland. I was about to go into the stands there on one play, and he looked at me and said, "Hey man, take it easy." I go, "No, I'm going at some point in my career, I'm going into the stands and catching one."
Left field and deep. Has he done it? He has. Josh Donaldson's first hit is a long one.
I want to ask you about my favorite Josh Donaldson play, my favorite Josh Donaldson Energizer Bunny play. 2015, Tampa Bay, 8th inning, Marco Estrada working on a perfect game.
Oh, yeah.
And foul ball goes up behind third base, and you go like 8 rows into the seats to catch this ball.
He'll get there, dives in and caught it. Oh, what a play! Josh Donaldson, pulling a Derek Jeter, goes into the second row and makes a terrific play.
Describe that play in your own words.
Well, at first, I honestly, I didn't think that I was going into the stands. I was kind of tracking it, and I was following it, and I thought it was going to stay in play. And then probably the last 2 or 3 steps, and this kind of goes back to when I was a kid. Like, if you watch after I catch it, I end up having like this huge smile on my face.
You did.
Because Me and my buddies, we had this game in our front yard. We'd call it King Griffey Jr.
That was the name of the game?
That was the name of the game.
Tremendous.
Griffey going back. He leaps and he makes the catch.
We practiced robbing home runs. We'd throw balls over the fence and we'd rob them. We would lay out and jump over bushes and try to get just kind of all these plays to where there was obstacles in the way that we would have to, figure it out. Sometimes we would get banged up a little bit, but we were kids. We enjoyed that. Whatever I made the play and jumped over and go face first into some guy's belly. I caught the ball and I just sat there. I was like, dude, I've done this. I've wanted to do this for so long in the big leagues. I remember Jeter coming up to me when I was in Oakland, and I was about to go into the stands there on one play, and he looks at me and said, "Hey, man, take it easy." I go, "No, I'm going at some point in my career. I'm going into the stands and catching one." And I was able to do it.
And so you hit some guy's belly? You might have hit a lot of stuff on the way in there. What'd you hit?
No, I went. Thankfully, it was a pretty big guy, bigger than I am, and when I dove right into the belly of this guy, and it kind of, gave me a little bit of cushion there. It was that better than a seat.
Yeah, it would have hurt if you hit a seat.
Yeah.
And that's tremendous. Now, I guess here's the money question. Would you have made that play if it was not a perfect game? Would you do that? I mean, you play with a.
I think so. I would like to say yes. Now, if it was like a 10-0 game or like games out of control, probably not. If the game's close, like it was at the time, I just told you, I wanted to go into the stands and make a play. Because for me as an infielder, that's like robbing a home run.
This is the guy that scares me the most. I mean, he looks like he's going to hit a home run every time he comes to the plate.
Let's go back to leadership. Here's another John Gibbons quote. He called you a uniter. How do you unite people in that way?
I think it's about having a message.
What's your message?
The message is always winning and competing. There's other things that go along the lines of that. What's unique about baseball is it's a team game played by individuals. So the game is affected on an individual basis more so than football. Basketball is somewhat similar, but with basketball you kind of have your core 5 guys that are playing. Baseball you have pitchers, different types of pitchers. You have infielders, outfielders, where there's a different mesh going on.
Yep.
And we want each individual to be prepared and to be confident and be ready to have success on each and every day. And it goes on to moving a runner at times that, hey, I'm going to give myself up for the team.
But here comes the runner, Donaldson. He's saved. He's saved. The ball game is over. The Blue Jays are moving on to the ALCS.
Playing to win and finding a way to win is very important. And that's just where the message is at, and it continues to be at. It's just how can we be better at it every day.
Yeah, I've seen you in that clubhouse talking to people all over the room, every position, young, old, star, rookie. That's obviously by design, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. And I told Gibby, I was kind of messing around with him the other day, and I said, I wonder if I just didn't say anything, like what would happen. He goes, you couldn't do that. I said, you're probably right. But it's all about kind of planting seeds early. So if I can sit there and talk to a kid who's first time in Major League camp, maybe been in pro ball for a year or two, and I can kind of plant some seeds into this guy's ear or into his mind to think about something differently or how it should be done. Because, if I say something to a younger guy, he's listening. And I understand that. And if he's not listening, then I know I should just stop talking and I'll leave that alone. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But we want the guys that are coming up after us to have success as well.
And here's another question. Would you be this kind of leader if you had never played with Jonny Gomes out in Oakland?
No. Jonny was the first person who kind of let me know it was okay to be myself in the big leagues. In 2010, when I first came up, I was kind of like, man, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, because I knew that I could kind of come off as being brash at some times. And to me, it's confidence.
Right.
With Jonny Gomes, he was like, I remember him coming up to me in the locker room in 2012, and
Did
he
you know
says,
him?
"Oh yeah." I mean, I knew him. Jonny Gomes is a character.
Absolutely.
And I like characters.
Right. One of the greats.
Yeah. And I was drawn immediately. Even if he didn't think that I was around, I was like around him somehow, because I wanted to see what he was about.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the last times I got called up in 2012, and his line, "Somebody's got to get famous tonight. Who's it going to be?" And ultimately what he's saying is, somebody's going to help us win this game. In his terms, you're going to get famous.
Center field. This one may go, and that baby's gone.
He kind of led me to think, hey man, you have the capability to go out there and impact this game immediately. Do it.
I know Jonny would do this with a lot of guys, but I also know he saw something in you. What do you think he saw in you?
I think he saw potential. And I think he saw kind of what's happening now in my career. I think he saw that before a lot of people did. And playing in Oakland, there hasn't been a lot of older guys there to kind of help show you the way as far as how it's done or whatnot.
Yeah, they all get traded.
or it's just normally younger guys.
Right.
When I was there. But he was kind of one of the first guys to kind of, take me in, start watching some video, tell me what he's doing with video, what's important, what's not important, be myself, allow that to play, and just kind of go from there. Each and every day he was just kind of getting it out of me, getting it out of me to where I started having success. And then ultimately where I'd had that belief when I was younger and when I was in high school, when I was in college, kind of going up to the big leagues, I'd lost that because I haven't had the success that I wanted. And Jonny he brought that out of me and allowed it to come.
If this is your last chance to win with this group of guys that you've gotten so close to, is there a special meaning to this season for you?
Brother, how I envy you. Tonight we would drink and feast with the gods.
Thank you, my brother.
Josh, you got to appear in that show Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about it.
I was a fan of the show, and one of the lead characters, him and I have somewhat of a resemblance. And that was kind of like the inspiration when I first started growing my hair out long, short on the sides, kind of long going down the back, because I wanted to be able to braid it to go down like the Vikings did. I did one off-season in 2015 off-season, and then my agent got in touch with their show. Their production company is actually based in Toronto. Got to go to Ireland. They wrote me in, had a couple lines.
Wow.
Got to see all the stars of the show, and it was pretty incredible. It was a great experience, and I enjoyed it.
Please welcome bringer of rain, Josh Donaldson, 2015 American League MVP.
I saw a video of the day you won the MVP award in 2015, and you hugged your mom and you said, "We won." What was the meaning of those words, "we won"?
She sacrificed so much for me as a kid to get to where I'm at today. Being my emotional support along the way as well. And I guess if your mom doesn't believe in you, that's kind of the one person that you have in your corner, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
And Like I came up and I rubbed people wrong, and people wanted to tell me I couldn't do things. And like I said, she was always there reinforcing, you can do it. You're just going to have to continue to outwork them. And I've never been the biggest guy. I've never been the most necessarily athletic. I probably wasn't even the best guy on my travel ball team when I was coming up. We had 11 guys, and 9 of us either went and played. And we're talking about a town of 12,000. We had 11 players on our team. 9 of us either played Division I baseball or got drafted, and 3 of us made it to the big leagues.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So the competition level that we had on a day in and day basis was also extremely important to how I developed as a kid.
Yeah. Your Twitter handle is Bringer of Rain 20. Mm-hmm. Where does that come from?
Spartacus Blood and Sand. Spartacus is a gladiator. The town that they're in has been in a drought for 3 or 4 months. They go and fight this one gladiator who's a legend, defeat him, and as soon as that happens, the rains come down and he gets the nickname Spartacus, Bringer of Rain. I was like, man, I've defeated some giants in my life, some legends of the arena. I thought it was a pretty cool nickname.
Donaldson high and deep to left, and you can forget about this one.
One more. Now, if this is your last year in Toronto and your last chance to win with this group of guys that you've gotten so close to, is there a special meaning to this season for you?
Each year is important. Each year is special. I'm not here to kind of make anything seem more important. It's all important to me. Every year is important. Every pitch is important. Every at-bat is important. It's not something I take for granted, especially after last year missing 50 games. You know, that was very difficult.
It was more than you missed your whole career before that.
Yeah. So I'm excited, and I'm very into being about what I can do to make this the most successful season for us.
Wow. Well, if it is, it will be special.
Yes.
Josh, it's Baseball Stories. It was awesome to hear you tell your story. Thanks very much for
Thank you. Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah.